So we are doing a philosophical study. We're studying philosophy here, and we are on the topic of what do I owe the world? And we are doing a thought experiment from the 20th century English philosopher Philippa Foot. And we'll read this again for the camera's purpose. Suppose you are a head surgeon in a hospital in which 5 patients are waiting for new organs. 2 need a kidney, 2 need a lung, and 1 needs a heart. If they do not receive these organs today, they will die. A healthy young man comes into the hospital with a broken toe. You ask him if he will sacrifice himself so that your 5 patients can live. He declines. Should you kill him and take his organs anyways? This is the thought experiment. So, where are all my colored markers? I can use the black one? The black ones don't erase good. Oh. Okay. All right. So you have one person with a broken toe. Obviously going to survive, right?
What happens to all the other organs that they have in stock? Don't they have like buckets of organs or something? What do you draw on that?
I don't know.
Oh my God!
That's a giraffe boy. Never mind. Okay.
Jesus Christ.
This guy's a little shorter. Okay. So
let him die.
All these people need organs. This guy needs a kidney, lung, needs a heart. Okay? Lung. Okay. So the thought experiment is you're the doctor. And this was another philosophical idea we got in a couple chapters before. If you had 5 people tied to a train track and another train, and the train was going to come and kill these people, they were all tied to the train track, and you couldn't stop the train, but you can divert the track to another track, but on that track there was one person tied to the train. Do you divert the train to the one track, killing one person and letting the 5 survive? But by this action, this was going to happen anyways. But by your action, diverting the track, you're going to kill somebody. Yeah. Do you allow the 5 to die, or do you kill the 1? And we thought that was a hard question to ask because
I'd run away.
Yeah, you didn't set the track into motion. You didn't time to the tracks. Yes, if you divert the train to the other track, you'll save 5 people and kill 1. You'll save more people than will die. But you will have physically killed that guy. So, in this case, we're talking that we're the doctor, right?
I'm a doctor.
So if we're the doctor, this guy comes in with a broken toe, and we need his lung, his kidney, his lung, his heart to save these 5 people. He says, I don't want to die to save those 5 people, so just fix my broken toe. So morally, as a doctor, you would have to fix his toe. But the question basically is, are you being morally good by killing him anyways to give these people kidney, lung, heart?
Not morally good.
No, I wouldn't think so. Why would you say it's not morally good?
Because he said no, he doesn't want to do it.
Right. Of course, because he doesn't want to die. By saving these people, again, you would have to physically kill him. You don't know what their situation is. You don't know why they have a bad kidney, bad lung. Maybe these 2 were smokers their whole life, and people kept telling them stop it, and they said no.
Yeah, that's why
Maybe this guy was morbidly obese and didn't take care of himself, and that's not your problem. That's not his problem, of course, right? And maybe these people were just something. Yeah, they did something. They ate the wrong food, and their kidneys, failed. Maybe they just took drugs their whole life, and they were drug addicts, and their kidneys failed. But it is not up to you. You guys paying attention? But it wouldn't be up to you to make the decision to kill one person to save 5 people, right?
Yeah,
now the
Don't they have organs?
No, not always the same way.
Not always, no. Not always.
I thought Judy's only last week or so.
But the reason I wanted to talk about this one in detail is this brings up a very other different kind of question. What if this is we wouldn't do it because we are water people. We talked about in the first lecture. We are good people. And good people wouldn't kill somebody to do this.
Why am I even a head surgeon?
What do you think a triangle doctor would do?
Kill all
Kill all of them.
Why?
Kill the man.
Kill all of them and
Then
sell
don't-
their organs.
Then don't give the organs.
What would a triangle doctor or a useful idiot doctor,
Sell their organs on the black
a
market.
useful idiot or a non-player character doctor do? What do you do?
Sell their organs on the black market.
He wouldn't have to sell them. We got 5 buyers right here. A triangle doctor, an evil doctor, a bad doctor would say,
No, I'm saying
this toe will only make me $300. I have 5 customers here willing to pay $100,000 each.
$100,000 each.
Right? This guy needs a heart. He's probably willing to pay me $500,000. So I can make almost $1 million by killing this guy and selling these people his organs.
I thought a triangle person would just kill all 5.
Yeah, kill all 5 of them, sell them to different.
A triangle person gets no money by killing anybody.
Yeah, but
A triangle person gets money by taking from someone and giving to someone else.
You're giving to a different.
There was a program many years ago on driver's license. I don't know if they still do. I think they still do it. When you get a driver's license,
They sell kids' organs.
no, but when you get a driver's license, you go to the DMV, and one of the first questions they'll ask is, "Do you want to be an organ donor?"
No.
The thought is, and the way they will tell it to you is, if you're dead anyways,
I'm dead.
you're laying there, you're on the table dead anyways.
You're on the table.
Your organs are going to do you no good. Like say for example, you come in from a horrible car accident, and they're saying you're going to die anyways. Your organs aren't going to help you anymore. Can we take those organs from you and try to save other people's lives? And you think to yourself, yeah, I'm a good person. Of course I want to help other people. So you think, yeah, I will sign the organ donor card, right? That's what you would think if you're a good person, right?
Yeah.
When this program came out many years ago,
They were fake saying.
No.
What? I'm so smart.
See? But my first thought was, when the program came out, my first thought was, okay, now what if I get in a motorcycle accident and another guy gets in a car accident? We're both lying on the table. We're both in the same condition. One of us can say, we're both bleeding. We both have damaged organs. And the doctors can make a choice. We're both alive. We're both injured. We're both alive. The doctors can make a choice. I can either let both of them die. I can either try to save both of them, but they both have damaged organs. But this guy is an organ donor. This guy is not. So if I kill this guy that is an organ donor, I can take his parts and save this guy and make money. And I said to myself, no, I don't want to be an organ donor. I'm going to be the one laying on the table that will take the organ, but I'm not going to be the one that will give the organ.
Give me your organ.
That was my first thought. Then years later came along. You ever hear the expression, how does it go?
How's it go? Brain damage. Oh.
You ever hear that expression? A doctor will say, oh, the guy is brain dead.
Like you're just stupid. You're just laying.
That's supposedly brain dead is when you're in the hospital and the brain is dead, and they say they'll tell the family he was involved in a bad car accident, his head is damaged, he's brain dead, and he's going to die anyways. So Do you want to donate his organs? Right?
Are you asking me?
No, but that's what they say. No, because that's what they say. They'll say your loved one is brain dead. Pay attention for a second. It's important. They'll say your loved one is brain dead, right? So he's going to die anyways, but his organs are still good. Can we take his organs and give them to somebody else? And you think to yourself, well, if he's brain dead anyways, of course you can go ahead and take his organs. What are you doing in essence?
Killing your dead.
The person is brain dead. This is important to know. Pay attention now. This saying, brain dead, is fake.
Oh my God.
It's a fake statement, fake diagnosis made up by triangle doctors. There is no such thing as brain dead. If you're brain dead, you're dead. Which means if you're brain dead, you're dead. The organs don't work, the heart doesn't pump, the organs don't work, you're dead.
If the brain doesn't work, aren't you just dead?
Yeah.
You're in a coma, maybe, or something's not connecting, but you are not dead. The reason they say brain dead, this is hard, this is important to know. You cannot take organs from a dead person to save a living person. If the person is dead, the organs are useless. What happens the second the person dies, the blood stops flowing, and the organs fill up with blood that immediately starts to coagulate. You know what that means? No.
I don't know.
What happens when you get cut?
I don't know.
Does it bleed forever? It starts to coagulate and stop and clot. It starts to clot and get scarred, and it forms a scab, which that's the clotting, is the body's way of stopping the bleeding so you don't bleed to death. So when you die, the blood stops flowing, it starts to coagulate or clot. The kidneys, the lungs, the heart immediately fill up with clotting blood, and the organ becomes useless immediately. So you can't take an organ from a dead person and survive. Even if the person's dead for a minute, it's too late. It's too late. The only way you get an organ from a person to save it into another person, you have to take it from 100% living person. The person has to be alive when you take the organ.
Yeah.
Remember the movie we saw? Not a movie. We saw TV show, Squid Game.
Oh.
You know, in the Squid Game, they had that little conspiracy of a bunch of guys. Don't kill everybody. Hit them somewhere in the shoulder and the arm, and we'll mark the box with a cross, meaning that guy is still alive. And they would put him in the box. They would bring him downstairs. Why did they do that?
So they can sell the organs?
So they can sell organs. The guy was still alive. Were they taking it from all the dead people? No, because the ones that were dead already, those organs were useless. They were ruined. They were coagulated and clotted. They needed to get the hearts, liver, kidneys, eyes, everything from the people that were alive. So they marked the box. They would try to say, just shoot them in the shoulder, shoot them in the hip or something. Don't kill them. Their heart needs to be still beating before we can take the organs in order for us to make money. Right? So they would bring the coffin down. The person would still be alive. There'd be a crooked doctor there, or a bunch of crooked doctors there, that would cut the person open while they were still alive, taking the organs out. Then when the heart's got to be still beating, they take the organs out, they can even clamp off the blood flow. So the blood stops flowing into the organ, it lets the blood pump out of the organ. They have to basically get the blood out of the organ so it doesn't coagulate. Then they cut it out of the living person, cut the organs out of the living person, put it on ice, then it can be used. So the doctors, the triangle doctors that came up with this idea of brain dead, a fake word, a fake diagnosis, came up with the word to tell people they're brain dead anyways, leaving out that your loved one is still alive. We're not going to take the organs out from them when they're dead. They're still living. We're going to cut their organs out now while they're living, alive. After we're done cutting the organs out, then they'll be dead. Make sense?
Mhm.
So, back to our hospital thing. When I said, if I'm on the hospital, motorcycle accident, we're both alive. In order for them to get the organs out of one of the people, the doctor has to make that decision. Which one of these two people am I going to kill? Because they're first going to have to take out the organs from a living person. They don't wait for one to die. They don't sit there and wait, okay, let's wait for one of them to die. He's dead, we'll take his organs. No. You have to make a choice. Which one am I going to kill? Because the organs have to be coming out of a living human being in order for them to work. And in the process, here's the important thing too, is when you donate the organs, you say, yeah, I'll donate. You donated them, right? You let the doctor kill your loved one to donate your organs. What does donation mean? Did they pay you anything for those organs? You donated them for free, right? Where do they get off charging this kind of money for the organ you just donated? That's just for the organ. Plus they charge you for the surgery to put it in. And the hospital stay to recover and all the testing afterwards.
Right.
So these operations could be in the millions. This whole thing about brain dead and of organ transplants and organ donations, all that stuff is a massive money-making scam of the triangle doctors. And I knew about it right when I heard that first term, brain dead, and I knew about that too when they first said, well, do you want to be an organ donor on your driver's license? I said, my brain immediately turned on and said, wait a minute, okay, hospital, motorcycle, they're going to have to kill one of us. And I'm like, no, I don't want to be that. I want to be the one that lives. So I said, no, I do not want to be an organ donor. And the person said to me, are you sure? You're going to die anyways. I'm like, no. I don't want to be an organ donor. Because I know in order for me to donate my organs, someone's going to have to kill me. Because you can't take organs out of a dead person. After the person's dead, the organs are useless. They got to come out of a living human being. So, our philosophical question, and this is why we're studying philosophy, because philosophy has a lot to do with answering questions in the real world. Why am I here? What's the meaning of life? What's the purpose of life? This philosophical question is telling us, in order for me to live, I have to understand how the world works. That's right. And I have to understand how other people are thinking. In order for me to live, excuse me, in order for me to live, I have to understand the motives behind what the other people are thinking. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Wait,
All right. So let's do it. Let's just this whole thing we're talking about is not a rare occurrence. This happens every day, all day long, in every city, in every country of the world. Talk about this. 13 years ago, I had a cousin in Jordan, the country Jordan.
What's her name?
Miriam was her name.
Miriam?
That was my cousin. I met her one time a long time ago. She must have been around 49, 50 at the time. About maybe young, maybe 48. She was very pretty, but apparently she thought she was overweight. We didn't think so, but she thought she was overweight, and she wanted to get liposuction, which is where they suck some of the fat out of you, and she wanted to get something called a tummy tuck. What tummy tuck is where once you do liposuction, there's some wasted fat on you. So what they do is they cut a section of fat out, and then they sew it back together so that there's no wrinkles after you lose the weight. So she wanted to get this done, and apparently one of the only places was to get it done was in Israel at an Israeli hospital.
Oh, that's your first mistake.
That was her first mistake.
Being in Israel.
Israel is one of the most common countries, one of the biggest countries for organ harvesting, where they will take organs out of living people to sell it to people who need organs. So she went to get this operated. Said it was a standard procedure, and she would be slimmer and skinnier afterwards, and would look beautiful afterwards. Needless to say, she died on the operating table, and they took her organs and sold them to other people.
Boy.
But like we just said a minute ago, she wasn't on the table, even though they told the family she was on the table and she died in the procedure, and we decided to take her organs and give them to people who needed them. Well, we just said a second ago, you can't take organs from a dead person because they're useless. So she had to be living on the table in order to take her organs to give it to other people, to sell it to other people. So during the procedure, they must have analyzed her blood and said she's a young person, she's healthy, she's a non-smoker, she's, everything is healthy. These are valuable organs. And we're crooked triangle doctors in this country with the eye. So let's just tell the family she didn't make it. Sign this paper. Let us take her organs. What do you mean she didn't make it? The procedure, she started bleeding too much. Needless to say, she's still in the room.
You killed her?
They didn't do the operation probably yet. But they told them that we're going to take her organs. So maybe I don't know if they signed the paper or not. I didn't want to ask them. I didn't even tell them all about this because I kind of knew what was happening, even though they might not have. But you sign the paper, you don't sign the paper. It doesn't matter. They'll take the organs anyways. But you have to take the organs from the living person. So you take the organs from the living person, sell them. Triangle doctor makes a lot of money. Then when the organs are removed, then you kill the person. Or then the organs are removed, now you just let them bleed to death because they have no organs. Let them bleed. Now they die. But the dying is after you've already stolen their organs and sold them to somebody else. Disgusting, right? Horrible what triangle evil doctors will do for money. So any questions about that?
No.
I know it's horrible and graphic, but you need to understand, and that's why we're doing philosophy. Philosophy is not really studying obscure nonsense. It's understanding how other people think so you can understand what you're going to do to react to the way they're thinking. Make sense?
Yeah.
So by understanding how different people think, even evil people think, you can understand how you're going to respond to the stuff that they're going to say to you.
Yes.
Hey, your kid came into the hospital for tonsillitis. They're dead. Can we take their organs? Swollen tonsils.
Swollen tonsils, they're dead.
And you'll be like, no, you can't take their organs. Let me see her. No, you can't see her. No, I insist. So you need to know how to react, because there are cruel, evil people all over the world, and if you don't know what they're thinking or how other people think, and unfortunately, there are a lot of people that believe there's no such thing as an evil, bad doctor. Some people think that all doctors will do the best for their patient. That is absolutely not true. There are evil people in every profession in the world. So understanding the fact that there are evil doctors and there are evil dentists that are all about making money, that will do anything to make money, including killing people to take their organs. Once understanding that, then you can understand when people say something to you that does not make sense, then you'll understand, how to protect yourself.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now we can.